Hello, hello! We are here today for a paper pumpkin alternate project, but also project number 9 in the 12 projects of Christmas 2025. I am thrilled to be sharing a fun, easy fun fold card for you today and a gift card holder. And I'm going to show you a little trick with the gift card holder. So I hope you're ready. Don't forget, anytime we do an alternate paper pumpkin project, the sky's the limit, what you can use to create the same type of card. So I hope you enjoy this. And I hope that it is something you would like to duplicate because it's easy and it's fun. This is project number 9 in the 12 projects of Christmas 2025, and it is the very first time in history that I am doing 2 alternate paper pumpkin projects during my 12 projects of Christmas. And there are 2 reasons really why. The first one is that because I had to push back the last 4 projects, it coincided with my alternate project, Paper Pumpkin Party, with my subscribers. And so I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to showcase my alternate project. And the second reason is it's just such a simple, great layout for a card that I think it can be done with lots of different products. So we're going to use some of the supplies from the kit. Let me reveal those. We've got one of our boxes, and we're not going to use it as a box though. We're doing a card for project number 8. And then also one of the stripey tags, which I believe is Mossy Meadow and Old Olive. And then one of the leafy mistletoe greeneries here, and a bow, as well as the embellishments, the dimensionals, the linen thread. We've got a whole bunch here. And then we're going to use Sending a Little Christmas Cheer from the stamp set. And that stamp set includes all of these stamps. So we're going to use this one. And then of course we could chime in with the Merry Christmas also to finish off the inside. But this is what we're going to do to complete our card. So I've got all of these pieces, and the first thing I want to do, well, I guess we'll pop these out of the bow first. And then I'm going to take my paper trimmer and trim these pieces down for use. I will also share with you the extra supplies that I'm using. It is just paper supplies, and I'll be able to share those with you as well. So we're going to take our box and the side with this little notch out of it, and we're going to put that in at 1.5 inches. Now, if you're using the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, which was on sale and sold out quickly last week during the Black Friday sale, but we're going to put this in at 1.5 inches, and we're going to trim that down. Then we're going to cut at 4.5 inches. So we've got the notch towards the top of the trimmer. We're going to trim it at 4.5 inches. And then we're going to turn it and trim it at 2 5/8 inches, so that what we have is a finished product that looks something like this. Okay. So we've got that piece. Now we just need this label piece right here. I've got a piece here that that we're going to measure at 4 1/4 inches, which trims the bottom edge right off of that. And then we're going to turn it and trim this down to 3 7/8 inches. And that should cut off the circle of it, so that we have no banner cut, and we have no circle. So it should just be flat on both sides. And then upon measuring this, I discovered that it was 1 3/4 inches, and half of that is 5/8. So we're going to put this in at, no, that's not right. Half of that is at 7/8. So we're going to put this in at 7/8. And it's okay if it hangs over a little bit of the 7/8 here. And then we're going to cut that in half, just like that. And I think that is all we need for our cutting, I believe. All right, so we just have a few small pieces here. And then out of my piece right here, I cut a pierced circle that is, I believe it is the 3rd smallest circle, I believe, from the Stylish Shapes dies. And I cut that actually out of here, but I've done that already with another one. So just FYI on that. I did use a little bit more of that box that I cut. And then I've got some pieces here that are basically white scraps. And I will share with you the measurements in the, you can see it in the caption below. All right, so you've got 3 pieces that have a score line down the middle. So we'll fold those and get those ready for action. And then I think we're ready to roll. So I'm starting with a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock that is 5.5 by 8.5. And I am going to use my adhesive and adhere the side flaps. So what I did was, I gotta measure. I knew this and then I forgot it just as quickly. So 1 1/4 inches is how big these are. So measure in 1 1/4 inches from each side and cut up to the score line. And I did that with my trimmer. And now I'm going to adhere these down next to this. And then just like this here. Okay, and then we are going to do the decorating with the pieces that we have cut already. Now this is going to be a gift card holder, so watch closely how this all goes together. All right, we're gonna start with those stripy pieces, which are really pretty, because I love green. And you can see my sweater's green too, so it coordinates. I didn't plan that, by the way. And then I'm going to add this to a strip of basic white that is cut 1 inch by 4 inches. And then as I do that, now those will fit perfectly here in the side panels. So we're gonna do that next. Next, we're actually going to leave this plain, but we are going to go to the inside. Well, not all plain. We'll get to that. But we're going to go to the inside and add a piece of basic white. And this measures 2 3/4 by 4 inches, and it fits right smack dab in the middle. Fancy that. Planned perfectly. Okay, now we bring in the piece that we cut here to make a little pocket for our gift card. Now, I've cut these little pieces to make a gusset for the pocket so that you don't have to force the gift card in there. The gusset will make it much better. So, put a little glue on the outside, one of the edges, and remember it is shiny. Do you know why that's shiny? It is shiny because it is food safe. So make sure you get, your liquid glue, and make sure it's got some time to attach itself to that shiny side. Okay, I'm just going to hold it down briefly to make sure that gets adhered. Then we'll add the bottom one in between the two short sides. Okay, we want our folds facing out to provide that space for our gift card. Okay, then once all of the pieces are in place, now we're going to add liquid glue to the 3 flaps, and then we're going to adhere it down onto our card like so. Just hold that down for a brief moment, but you can see that there's a little border all the way around our gift card holder. You could certainly just put this flat and skip the gussets, but like I said, it just kind of creates a little bit more leeway to get that gift card in there. This would be a great opportunity now to stamp your Merry Christmas in here. Okay, so we'll stamp the Merry Christmas using Mossy Meadow ink, which the Stampin' Spot came with the kit. So we'll just get that going here. You can also use the larger ink pad if you've got that. Now, if you don't have Paper Pumpkin, you can be using alternate supplies for all of this. Designer Series paper will work great in whatever way, shape, or form you want to decorate this. And you can do it different colors, whatever you would like. But since we are using parts of the kit, next we're going to need a cherry cobbler tag. So I'm going to grab that next, and I'm going to mount that with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Now you can choose, look it on the back, you can actually use either side. I'm choosing to use the red side instead of this side. And these are very small. You can use them if you would like. I am just going to switch to the large Stampin' Dimensionals just so that I get good coverage a little bit quicker here, so that you don't have to wait for me to peel all of the backings off of those minis, because I would certainly need a whole bunch of them because that's just how I am. All right, we're going to add this tag at an angle, and then using some liquid glue, we're going to take our mistletoe greenery here, and we're going to adhere it. And I don't need to be careful to get adhesive everywhere, but we're going to adhere it so that, oop, I forgot to trim off these pieces here. There we go. And then we have our bow. Now our bow we're going to add using a Stampin' Dimensional in the middle, and this would be a great opportunity to grab your minis from the kit. If you're using the kit, great opportunity for the mini. Just put one in the center, and then we're going to add that right here at the top, like so. And then let's grab our circle that we cut earlier from our box, and we're going to add the sentiment in Mossy Meadow ink, sending a little Christmas cheer. Just like that. I love the sentiments in here and the fonts. Look at how cute that is. Ah, so cute. Okay, next we're going to take our linen thread that comes in the kit. You can choose any type of twine or linen thread. I'm going to wrap it around 4 fingers 3 times. And then I'm going to add some adhesive. It can go right over the mistletoe. And then I'm going to squish down my twine, baker's twine / linen thread, and just add it right down here in the corner like this. And I will finish this part out with some more Stampin' Dimensionals. So you can see I'm using lots of little pieces from the kit, and it is fabulous. And I'm going to put this so that it is straight on with the bottom parallel. The words are parallel to the bottom of the card. And then finally we'll add a few of our embellishments here. Okay, so that is it, my friends. Simple card, super little fun fold, and easy to duplicate with any Christmas products, birthday products, whatever it is you want to do. But for us, it's the 9th in the 12 projects of Christmas. Thank you for joining me. I will see you back here soon for project number 10.